वे नमः। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरोर्श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगणरघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं श्रीकृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधाकृष्णपादान् सहगणललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च। हे कृष्णा करुणा सिन्धो दीनबन्धो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिकान्त राधाकान्त नमोऽस्तुते। तप्तकाञ्चन गौराङ्गी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। नमो महावदान्याय कृष्णप्रेमप्रदायिने कृष्णाय कृष्णचैतन्य नामिने गौरत्विषे नमः। पञ्चतत्त्वात्मकं कृष्णं भक्तरूपस्वरूपकं भक्तावतारं भक्ताख्यं नमामि भक्तशक्तिकम्। श्रीकृष्णचैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासदि गौरभक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। जन्माद्यस्य यतोऽन्वयादितरतश्चार्थे सुभिज्ञस्वराट् तेने ब्रह्म हृदय आदिकवये मुह्यन्ति यत्सूरयः। तेजो वारिमृदां यथा विनिमयो यत्र त्रिसर्गो मृषा धाम्ना स्वेन सदा निरस्तकुहकं सत्यं परं धीमहि। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, 3rd Canto, 28th chapter. And this is beginning from verse number 39. So Lord Kapila is explaining the state of a person who has become self-realized by the process of yoga, meditating on the form of the Lord. And this is impersonal realization, because he takes away his mind off the form of the Lord, and then it was described that it's just like turning off the candle, that nothing remains. And then he said that in this state the person has no feeling of pain or pleasure related to the body, because he is oblivious to the existence of the body. He is just situated in his own internal experience, and the body functions because of the prarabdha karma which is remaining, and the samskaras, because when he was aware or conscious of the body, he performed certain activities, so those continue happening. So basically he is like a robot, living robot. So this also refutes the idea of impersonalism, where they say that the soul does not have kartritva, bhoktritva, means it has no agency, no enjoyership. It is only in the body when it is related to the body. But here it was said that he is situated in the inner happiness, and that's why he is not aware of what is happening outside. And if the question is asked that why he does not interact with the external world, saying that it is just like person comes out from the dream, then the Nobody likes to go back into the dream once you are awake. Because you know that the dream is a dream. So he sees this material existence as a dream and has no desire to again experience this. So this was description of a realized person. And then he continues a little bit more on this. यथा पुत्राच्च वित्ताच्च पृथं मर्त्य प्रतीयते अप्यात्मत्वेन अभिमताद् देहादे पुरुषस्तथा. So now he is theoretically explaining how the soul is different from the body, and this is what he is experiencing at present, because by reading we only get theoretical knowledge, but he is realized like that. So he says that just like a person remains attached to his or her children, wealth, etc. But if one deliberates properly, then one knows that one is different from them. You are not your children, you are not your wealth. This is easy to understand. Although we have feeling of possessiveness, myness in them, and this is mine, they may be very dear to you, and you feel very much close, you identify with them, but you also know that you are different. If they are feeling hungry, then it doesn't mean you feel hungry. If they feel sleepy, you don't feel sleepy, so you must be different from them. Their pains and pleasures are different from your pains and pleasures. So he says, Yatha putratcha vittatcha pritham martya pratiyate. Martya means mortal. And that also signifies that when you die, then they don't die. Or if they die, you don't die, so you are separate. So he says that in the same way you are separate from the body. Api atmatvena abhimatat dehani purushastata. This body which we consider as our very self, this is also different from our very self. Because anything which you say my, or you feel possessor of that, then that is different than the possessor. If somebody says it is my car or my son, then you are different and the car and son is different. So in the same way we say my body, then it is different from me. And it has been explained before that when you go to sleep, then you are not aware of your body. But you exist, you are dreaming. So if you are dreaming, that means you are not dead, you do exist. And you are not aware of your body, then you must be different from the body. Otherwise, if you are the body, then you remain aware of it. So for that reason he says, Atmatvena Abhimatana. Although we have the ego, Abhiman, that this is me. Because body we also have both types of feelings. That sometimes we consider that this is I and sometimes this is my. So we also say that I am sick and the body is sick, or I lost weight. So that obviously it is body which is losing the weight, not the soul. Soul is weightless. So soul is neither gaining weight nor losing weight, it is body which loses and gains, body which falls sick. But we do make statements like that. So then it means we are identifying with the body as our very self. And then other times we say that it is my body. So that signifies that we are separate from it. And therefore it says that api atmatvena vimatat dehade purushastha. In the same way the Purusha is separate from the body, etc. Etc. means mind. Because this identification is with many things. We identify with our mind also. But we also say my mind is disturbed, my mind is peaceful, my mind is restless. So that means I am different from the mind. And then we identify with intelligence also. And ego. So Purusha is different from that. Because Lord Kapila is mainly speaking Sankhya, which he spoke in the previous chapter, and he again comes to this Purusha and Prakriti. And this not the Sankhya without God, Nideshwar Sankhya, atheistic Sankhya, but he time and again he stresses this distinction between Purusha and Prakriti, between matter and spirit, body and soul, which is the fundamental principle of Sankhya. So again he is talking about it. Then he gives one more example of this. Yatholmukad visphulingad dhūmadvapi svasambhavat apyatmatvena abhimatad yathagni prithagulmukat. So he says that just as fire is separate from smoke, it is separate from the sparks, and it is separate from the wood which is burning. Ulmukad vispulangad dhūmadvapi svasambhavat. But all these are said to be fire. The word fire is used for all of them. Some fire is there is sparks coming out, there is burning wood and there is smoke, so there is fire. So smoke is also called fire, the sparks also called fire, the burning wood is called fire. But actually fire is distinct from all of them. So in the same way, soul is different from body, etc. So Vishnu Chakravarti says that pratibodhartham mumukshubhir nityameva vibhavitavyam ityaha. So in the previous verse he has spoken about person who is realized, who has become enlightened. Therefore he says swapnam purnam bhaste pratibuddha vastu. That he has attained enlightenment of the reality. Therefore he does not again fall into this dreamy world. So now what he is talking is about those people who are interested in attaining this state, mumukshu. That how a mumukshu should meditate, vibhavya. That again and again we should do this bhavana, this meditation. That how we are different from the body.
What means moksha?
Only desiring moksha.
Moksha.
Liberation. One who is hankering for liberation. It's called moksha. So in the 3 slokas he is talking about this 3. Ati sneha vasad atmatvena abhimatadabi putrade prithageva marti. So people have a great attachment to the children. I think most people don't have that experience here. We don't have, we also. seems to be inexperienced about this phenomena. Right? Very, very big attachment in children, right?
My daughter says always to me, if I am cold, I say always to her, you have to wear a jacket. And she always said, Mama, I don't like to wear a jacket when you are cold, when you are feeling cold.
So, this is a very great attachment for children. Even Vyasadeva, right in the beginning, who is the author of Bhagavatam, even he had the attachment because he was running after his son. Putraiti tanmaya tattarvo bhinedu tam sarvabhuta hridayam munimanata. He was also, when Sukadeva Goswami was born, and then he left home immediately. He was a very special case, no attachment. But Vyasa was after him. He wanted to teach him because the father is very much interested in giving what he has to the son so that the parampara can continue. So he says, Yatha putrat, putrat. So, abhimata aditi putradi. So you have abhiman, identifying with the children, they are my children. So this is very deep inside. And with touch, then next is wealth. This is also very interesting. Today we are reading in Subodhini in my class, and Vallabhacharya was explaining a very nice point he made. He says that why people are so much attracted to wealth and not to Krishna. Even after hearing and reading and seeing, still attachment is there for wealth, not to for Krishna. So he said that Krishna is father and Lakshmi is mother. Wealth is called Lakshmi. So Krishna is father and wealth is mother. So child naturally runs to the mother, not to the father. So it is very natural for the child to go to the mother. Then needs no training. So father may have attachment for the son, but son has more attachment for the mother. So therefore he said vitta. That means vitta, we have great attachment for this. And prithang martya pratiti. So the living being is separate from that. His Marana dharma is mortal, and although the son is there, the wealth is there, still he dies. So this is experience, everybody knows this, that anyone who has children can die, anybody who has wealth can die, and the wealth and children do not go with him or her. They remain here. So they are separate. So he says in the same way the soul is separate from the body. Yatha tathaiva purusho jiva. And then the next one, he says, Nanu yatha putra vityadibhyo martya prithag avasthito drishyate ne tatha dehendriyadibhyo jivatma. So this doubt is raised that just as we can see very easily that we are different from our children and our wealth, etc. But how to know that the jivatma, the soul, is different from body, senses, mind, etc. And jivatmano bhi sakasat paramatma pratak katham avnantavya. And how do we know that Paramatma, the super soul, is different from Jiva? But at present we don't feel theoretically we may understand, but we don't feel, we don't experience that I am separate from the body. We don't have this experience. It is only in the book. Without book, we don't know this. So after reading, after hearing, then also we don't feel. Therefore, Krishna says, Ascharyavat. Sutvapi evam na veda kaschit. And this is a great Ascharya that even after hearing, you don't know this. So there is no such experience in the body that I am separate from this. So logically we can understand, theoretically. But there are two types of knowledge. One is called Paroksha Jnana, another is called Aparoksha Jnana. One is theoretical knowledge and other is the realization of that knowledge. So we don't have a realization of it. And that's why we have to get the realization. Because if our bondage was simply without any maya or anything, then simply knowledge should remove Paroksha Jnana, but it does not go without the experience of it. So that experience has to come by the practice. But before that we have to understand theoretically. So that is being described. So this question is raised, and then of course we have no idea about Paramatma. And if somehow we can feel or understand that I exist in this body, I am separate. By logic I can understand that. We have no experience and no understanding about super soul existing in the body. How do I know? It's only from the book, from the Shastra that we hear this. But there is no experience of it. So therefore it says, Katham avgantavya, how can one understand this? So then he gives this example. Yatha ulmukaditi prithak avasthana bhavepi maya tat karyabhyam prithak bhuto jivatmanasya sakashat paramatma prithak eva iti atra ayam drishtanta. So he says that this is the example here which shows that how Paramatma or the super soul is different from Jivatma and the Maya and its products. Although he is not situated separately, Prithag Avasthana Bhava. Although he is different, but he is situated in them only. So Paramatma, super soul, is different from Maya and the products of Maya, but he is within Maya. He is also living in the body, he is existing in the body, which is a product of Maya. Just as fire. Fire is there inside the wood, but it is not wood. Wood is separate, fire is separate. And then fire is also there when the wood is burning, and then you can experience it. But fire is separate. And then you have smoke, and you also have sparks. So fire is separate from all of them. So he says, Atra yatha shabdasya ulmuka sabdasya cha panuruktyad evam vyakhyam. So there is word here yatha ulmukad vispulangad dhumad vapi swasambhavat adhyatmatvena avimatat yatha agni prithak ulmukad. Twice the word yatha has been used. Like, yatha means like, and ulmuka, the burning wood, that also is used 2 times. And that's why he is bringing. Other commentators have only tried to explain that this verse is explaining that Atma, the soul, is different from body, etc. As fire is different but he has taken it to one step further, and this is also explaining how the super soul or Paramatma is different from body, Maya, etc., and also the soul. So this is to make sure that the philosophy here is not about impersonalism, and there are many souls, not that there is only one Brahman appearing as souls because of the material body. So that's why he is explaining it like this. Ulmukad dahyamanat kashthat yatha agni pruthak bhavati. Ulmuka means the burning wood. So just as burning, the fire is different from the burning wood. Yatha cha ulmukat pruthak tatha vispullangad api pruthak. Just as it is different from the burning wood, it is also different from the sparks. Yatha cha vispullangad pruthak tatha dhumad api svakaryat pruthak. And just as it is different from the sparks, it is also different from the smoke, which is the product of fire. Idrishat atmatvena agni swarupatvena abhimatadapi. And what type of is it? He says that which is accepted as fire by people. Avivekena hi ulmuko vispullingo dhumopi agnirayam iti abhimanat. So those people who do not have clear understanding, they consider or they say that all this is fire. So obviously all these are not fire. Yadva dvitiya yatha sabdasya yathavad ityartha. Ditve ulmukaditi ulmukam matti jvalayati iti agni. So or he says that the second yatha, the word is yathavad, and dvitiya ulmuk, the second, then he gives again two different meanings of ulmuka. And ulmuka here means that is what is burning. So in this he tries to separate that the super soul is like fire and the sparks are like the souls, and there's wood, etc. Bhagavatam makes one good comment. He says, Agner eva rajasrupam dhunu tamasarmukam vispullinga sattvika. He says that smoke is the form of fire in Rajogun, and wood, burning wood, that is fire in Tamogun, and Vispullinga sparks, they are in Sattvagun. So that's then in the third verse again he is talking about the distinction between body and soul. Bhutendriyantakarnat pradhanat jiva sangitat atma yatha prithak drishta bhagavan brahma sangita. He says that bhuta is material elements, and indriya, the senses, antakaran is the inner senses, and there is pradhan, non-manifest matter, and jiva. So he says that the self is different from all this, and tatha prathak drishta bhagavan brahma sangita, and there is Bhagavan, who is also called Brahman. So Dashtantikam yojayati. Now he relates this with the previous verse. Pradhanat ulmuk sthaniyat जीव संगीतात जीव रूपोय संगीत संज्ञान चेतनाम प्राप्त तस्मात् विस्फुलिंग स्थानीयात भूतेन्द्रियांतकरणात् धूम स्थानीयात आत्मा परमात्मा अग्नि स्थानीय पृथक यतो दृष्टा से दृश्य. So So now he explains this and the previous verse together, how this is talking about soul and also super soul. So he says that this ulmuk, the burning wood, is like pradhana. Pradhana is the unmanifest state of matter. And jiva sangitat, jiva is the living entity. So sangya chetanam prapta tasmat vispullingsthanya. The sparks are like the jivas, and they have their bodies coming from the wood only. The sparks come from the wood, but they have fire which is like the chetana, consciousness. And consciousness is part of the fire. And this heat in the spark. And then bhut indriya antakarnat dhumasthanya. Then the senses, internal, external, and the material element, they are like the smoke, because there is no light in them and they are quite dull. So Atma is different from all that. So Atma tatha pratak drishta. Therefore Atma here is, Atma means Paramatma. The word Atma means both the individual soul, but original meaning of Atma is Paramatma. Atatvat matritvat Atma hi parmo hari. Because he is all pervading and he is the protector, supporter of everyone. Therefore Atma means Paramatma. So Atma tatha prathak drishta is separate. Prathak yato drishta sahi drishyat. Prathak eva sahasthito api asango. And although he is staying there, he is untouched. He is not influenced by anything. So he is seen as separately, but he is within it. So how is it possible that he is different and he is inside? So he says that is by his inconceivable power. Therefore the word Bhagavan is used. Prathak drishta Bhagavan Brahma Sangita. Bhagavan eva Brahma Sangyam Prapta. And it is Bhagavan only who has the appellation of Brahman. Brahman is not different from Bhagavan. Brahmeti Paramatmiti Bhagavaniti Shabdate Kasminchid Adhikarini Nirvishesha Chinmatratve Bhatascha Bhavati. So those people who are not interested in realizing God, personal form of God, for them he appears as Brahman. And here also we saw that this yogi, he was not interested in personal realization. Therefore he gave up his meditation on the personal form of God and he made his mind blank. So for that reason also the word Brahman is mentioned here. So in these three verses basically he has explained how Purusha and Prakriti are separate. But there is also Paramatma. Sarvabhutesu cha atmanam sarvabhutani cha atmani ikshetananya bhavena bhuteshu eva tadatmatam. So this practice is giving that one should see like this. Sarvabhutesu cha atmanam, that Atma is situated in all living beings, and sarvabhutani cha atmani, and all the living beings are situated in the Atma. So this is a riddle, that everything is in Atma and Atma is in everything. How is that possible? Either you are inside the room or the room is inside you. So here both are simultaneously there. That's why he said Bhagavan. Ikshet ananya bhavena bhutashu iva tadatmakam. So he says this is how one should see with ananya bhav, not seeing anything else except him. Ananya bhav means your mind fixed only on the Supreme. एवं सर्वस्मात् परमात्मानं पृथक् भूतं विभाव्य तस्य सर्ववस्तूनां कारणत्वं लयस्थानत्वं च पश्येत्. So now after explaining that Paramatma or the Super Soul is distinct from everything else, he explains that he is the cause of everything. Everything is coming from him and everything merges back into him. So, yatova sarvani bhutani jayante. That all living beings are born from him and they all stay in him and they all enter into him. So therefore he is called the cause, because the effect is taking place in the cause. It exists in the cause and it merges back into the cause. Therefore Brahman is the ultimate cause. So this is how one should meditate. Sarvabhutesu iti karnasyeva karyatmatvam. The effect is a manifestation of the cause. So that's why it is the Supreme Person, one. He is only one, but he is the one who is manifest as everything. So in Vedanta philosophy, the absolute reality, Bhagavan, he is called Abhinna Nimittopadan Karan. He is the material as well as the efficient cause of everything. Usually there are two causes of everything. There is a material cause, or the ingredients which compose a product, and then there is a person who manufactures that product. So if you are making food, you are cooking say soup, then you have some vegetables, salt, fire, etc. So these are all ingredients which go to make the product. They are called material cause. And then there is the efficient cause, the person who is also needed to mix all these things. So in case of the universe, Lord is both simultaneously. Otherwise, he has to depend on something else, and that something else will become independent of him, as the ingredients are independent of us. Their existence is not dependent on our existence. But in Vedanta philosophy, there is only one absolute reality who is independent. There is so much variety, but it is not independent of that absolute reality. He is the support and fountainhead of everything. So then therefore he says that Karnasyeva karyatvam karyatmatvam iti artha. Karyanamapi layasthanatvat karans rupatvam. And all the effects, all the products, whatever is produced, they ultimately are dissolved back into him. Therefore he is the cause. Sarvaiti tadatmatam mahabhutatmatam. So one should see that he is the Atma, he is the self and the cause of everything. Swayoni suyatha jyotir ekam nana pratiyate yoninam gun vaisamyat tathatma prakritau sthitah. So he says that there is one light and it appears in different ways in the source where it is generated. You have various types of fire, and the shape and size of the fire depends upon what type of wood you have. So swayonisu yatha jyotir ekam nana pratiyate. But fire is fire. And yoninam gun vaishamyat tathatma prakrito. So according to the characteristic of the source of fire, where the fire is going to be generated, then it appears differently. You have candlelight, you have lamplight, you have fire coming from the wood, small wood, big wood. So it appears differently. But fire is only one. So in the same way, there is only one Atma, one super soul, but it manifests in different bodies. And according to the shape and size of the body, then Paramatma also manifests different size. He is not of the same size everywhere. So the variety comes because of Prakriti or body. Paramatmana prati dehavartittvena nanatva pratiti bhadra bhadradi pratitischa na vastavi. So he says that although the super soul is existing in every body, and therefore it looks that there are many super souls, many Paramatmas. But he says that it is not true, or it may appear that super soul in one place is good and another place is not good. So this distinction is not real. Svayonishu kashthashu jyotir agni gunvashamyat. Just as there is fire, and fire comes out from the wood, so depending on the shape and size of the wood, it may appear differently. But it is one fire. So, Dairghya, Hrashatva, Vakrima, Arjava, Gandharupadi Bheda. It may be big in size, it may be small, or it may be bent, it may be straight. It may have different types of fragrance. If you are burning wood, or you burn cow dung, or you burn something else, you get different smells. So that difference in smell is not that fire has a smell, because fire has no smell. Smell is the quality of earth, earthly element. So that smell is coming because of the different source in which the fire is being generated. Otherwise fire does not have smell. So that difference comes because of the source. In the same way, Prakrito Deha Atma Paramatma Tathaiva. So he says in the same way, by the distinction in the bodies, different shapes, sizes, varieties, then Paramatma may appear differently, but he is only one. Tasmadimam swam prakritim devim sadasadatmikam durvibhavyam parabhavya swarupena utishtate. Says therefore, after understanding this Prakriti, which is Daivi Prakriti, which is belonging to the Lord, and which is Sadasadatmikam, which is in the form of cause and effect. This cause and effect relationship is only in the matter. When you go to the spiritual world, then there is no cause and effect relationship. Everything is causeless now. And for soul, Lord, devotion, they are all causeless. And spiritual energy is causeless. The cause and effect relationship manifests only within material energy. So that's why it says Swam Prakritim Daivim Sadasadatmikam. Sat and Asat. Asat means cause and Sat means effect. So that is the nature of matter. So Durvibhavyam, it is very difficult to understand it and very difficult to get over it. Devi hi asagunmayi mama maya duratyaya. Krishna also saying that it is Devi. So Devi means divine, Devi also means which plays, playful or shining. Devu Kridayam. So Parabhavya, that you transcend it, you conquer over it, and then only you become in your Swarupa. Swarupena Utishtate. Only by transcending it one becomes situated in one's Swarupa, otherwise it is not possible. Tasmat Prakritireva Nanatva Darshitritvad Anarthakarani Ityaha Tam Jayat. So, why it was explained that Paramatma is appearing differently in different bodies? He says it is Prakriti, it is matter which shows the variety here. All the variety, all the dualities which you experience is because of Prakriti. Whatever variety and dualities you see, it's all because of matter. So, and therefore, it says anartha karani. It is that which leads you away from the goal. Anartha. Artha means the object of my desire, which I want. Anartha is unwanted. So it puts us in trouble when we become enamored by it. So we have to conquer over it. Swam, Swiyam, Sopadhi. So our Prakriti is in the form of our Upadhi, which is our body. Now we are under the control of the body. We are trapped in it and we are conditioned by it. And because of that, we have fallen into the cycle of birth and death, experiencing pain and pleasures. Daivim Karmamayim. He translates the word Devi as Karmamayi, because Deva also means fate or destiny. So Devi means Karmamayi, feminine gender of Deva becomes Devi. Prakriti is female. So that means this is what produces karma. Destiny means the outcome of karma. Fate or destiny means the karma I did in the past. So he says this Prakriti is karmamaya. Always action is happening in it. Prakritahi kriyamanani gunai karmani sarvasya. It says all the activities are performed by Prakriti. Whatever action is happening, it is happening only in matter. And then we take credit for it. So because we take credit for it, then we become bound by it. If we can give up that, not taking the credit, then we are liberated. Nisyanaham kriti bhavo buddhariyasya na lipyate hatvapi seman lokan nahanti na nibandhate. So if we do not have this ahankriti bhav, this feeling, this understanding or consideration that I am the doer, if we can see that everything is just happening in the body. If I am speaking, sitting, moving my hand, all it is happening in the body, not in the soul. And we already explained that soul is different. So says if one can understand this, always says it is durvibhaga, it is very difficult to understand this. So then you become situated in your own swarupa, because soul is not doing anything. Soul is sitting quietly. And I explained in the morning class that he is like a passenger just sleeping. That's why Jiva Jaga, Gaura Chanda Bole. So he is not aware of this, what is going on around him. Yadva Devasya Vishnu Shakti. Then he gives another meaning. Devi also means that it is the power of Lord Vishnu, who is the Deva. It is his energy. And it is Durvibhavya, Duratya, very difficult, almost impossible to get over it. So how to get over it? Mameviye prapadyante. Only those who surrender to Krishna, because it is his energy. So unless we take his help, it is not possible. So one has to parabhavya, one has to transcend. He quotes this verse, Devi hiya sagurnamayi mama maya duratya mameviye prapadyante maya mitam tarantite. Famous verse from Bhagavatam. So therefore without bhakti it is not possible at all that one can become liberated. It is impossible. You can meditate, you can do all turns, twists, but you cannot go beyond Maya. Within Maya you can play as much as you like, that's why it is Devi Maya. It is a play field. She will play with you, you can also play with her sometimes. But you cannot get out. So that is only by taking shelter of Krishna. Iti Bhagavad Uktya eva jitva. Says, as it is said, by the Lord Himself. Only by this process we can conquer over mind, not otherwise. Otherwise you are in the matrix completely in this world and in the clutches of Maya. Unless someone comes from outside, you cannot get out. So Swarupena and Avrit Chatarupena Avtasthite. When you will conquer over this, then you will become situated in your own Swarupa, means your consciousness not deluded by Maya. You are already situated in your own Swarupa only, but now we are deluded by Maya, we are covered by the Avaran Shakti of Maya. So this is the end of this chapter. Iti sarartha darshinyam harshinyam bhakta chetsam ashtavinshoyam tritiyasya samita santasakam. This is the end of commentary called Sarartha Darshini, which gives pleasure to the heart of devotees on 28th chapter, composed in the association of devotees. So then from tomorrow we will start chapter number 29, where he is going to describe Bhakti. Very interesting chapter. Different divisions of Bhakti and the process of Bhakti. If there is any question? Yes.
I just thought of the World Olympics, and you have all these professional athletes competing with one another in different ways. And what actually is going on is that it's like Krishna's entertaining himself by just watching all these jiva souls do what they think that they are doing independently of him, and it's really it's for his, entertainment or whatever. And they're not really doing anything independently. Is that one way of looking at it?
Yeah, that is
They're just
the
moving
way
around.
to look at it actually. There are two ways to look at everything. One is from your point of view, another is you look from God's point of view. So usually we are always looking things at our point of view. But if we see from God's point of view, then it is all play for Him. Because He is only playing. And if we want to join the play, then we have to see it from His point of view. When we see from our point of view, then we are working hard. Then we are in trouble. So there are two straw pieces in the river, and one is saying, I am going to stop this river, and he is working very hard and he is not getting anywhere, and the other one is flowing with it, saying, I go along with it wherever it takes. So this material world is also like a flow of the river. God is one who initiates this flow, right? Ekoham Bahusyam, He is one. He wanted to be many. Ekaki naramate. You don't enjoy alone. That's why you always need association, you need something. So He has created it. And it is a manifestation of His pleasure. Anandadevihi imani bhutani jayante. It is only from Ananda that everything has generated. So it is a manifestation of His Ananda, but we are not seeing it like that. Because we don't see it like this, we get into trouble. And that is the meaning of conditioning. That we become conditioned by the body. Although we are meant to be also related with that Ananta. So Jiva Bhava Se Vigya Sacha Anantaya Kalpate. Kesagra Satbhagasya Satdha Kalpitasya cha. So Jiva is very small, but such a Ananta Kalpita. It is meant for Ananta. We are meant to be with the unlimited Supreme Person and being part of His Leela. Instead of that, we limit ourselves to the body. That's why body is called Upadhi. Upadhi means limitation. Upadhirna Dharam Chinta. So that is our vision, and then we get into the duality immediately. As soon as you identify with the body, then two things happen. Certain things you like, other things you don't like. Things you like, you want to acquire them, and if you have acquired them, you want to maintain them. And things you don't like, you avoid them, and if they are there, you want to kick them away. And you remain in the struggle all the time.
So this feeling that some people feel I'm losing, some people say I'm a winner, and whatever, and all this competition, it's really all
It's
Maya.
all losing.
It's all illusion.
I have a question about this dependence, like the fire and the spark and the smoke. They're depending on each other. They're not independent. It cannot be fire
Because
without.
Pradhan, so you have Pradhan and everything is coming from that. You have Prakriti. From that comes Mahatattva. From Mahatattva comes ego and the elements.
Okay.
So and then there is wood. When it burns, it's called Ulmuka. Then from that are generated sparks and smoke. But inside the wood is Paramatma, like fire.
Yeah, this is the point. Now this inside there is Paramatma. And now-
Otherwise it will not burn. If there is no fire in the wood, it will not burn. That's why you can burn the brick.
So, let's see how I can remember. In the scriptures there, what I understood too was that the Lord, Krishna, is Achinta Beta Beta, like he's one and yet different from all of his energies.
Yes.
So, where was I going with that? So, if a jiva soul realized that, there would be all this other stuff going on about trying to lord it over someone.
And because you will understand that you cannot lord it over. I mean,
You can,
how can you lord it over?
because God is the same, inconceivably and simultaneously different and the same.
Because of the energy and energetic. Like spark is also part of fire, but yet fire is different from the spark. If you extinguish the spark, the fire is not finished, it's still there. But without fire, spark has no existence. It's not spark.
So about this room in you and you in the room. This is there is a third element who keeps. If I'm thinking about this, you either I am in the room or the room is in me. So, but as far as I have understood, there is a different type of realization which contain the whole thing, both.
Yeah, because Paramatma is in everything and everything is within God.
So there is a partial realization.